Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Inshallah, brothers, as the topic, poking and toking, I want to give you two stories that I want you to think about throughout my talk, inshallah. The first story is about Abdullah. He lives in Whitechapel. Abdullah's just been woken up from sleep because his iPhone just went off and he's got a message on Facebook. He gets up, he rubs his eyes, quickly logs into his Facebook account, Asian Gangster 786. You guys might think it's a bit funny, but this is what people have nowadays. He checks who's online, sees what's the status updates and everything, and checks his message. He's got a message from Asian Princess. She's asked him to go meet him up at the Shisha place in Mile End. So he jumps for joy, like most people do. He's got butterflies in his belly. He's thinking to himself, yeah, finally I got a chance to link her up. So he puts his gear on, he puts his cologne on, shines his shoes and goes downstairs. Yeah, perfume, cologne. Yeah, that's the right word. I ain't forgetting. Yeah. And he thinks, you know what, let's give Zuhr Salah a miss and let's go. He's driving down there. He's just constantly thinking, yeah, got it. First time, we gotta not mess it up. Just before he gets out the door, he thinks to himself, you know what, man, I need my game. I need to boost my game up, I need a bit of confidence. So he says to himself, you know what, let's do this, man. We're gonna nail this and we're gonna do this. So he goes in and, and the story goes on. My second story is about a guy called Ahmed. Now, Ahmed lives in Cairo, in Egypt. Ahmed's also just woken up from sleep because his iPhone went off, and he's also got a message on Facebook. So he gets himself up, he rubs his eyes. He's feeling a bit dizzy, brothers, because he's just gone to sleep after Fajr, so he's still, he didn't get much sleep. So he logs onto his Facebook account, Ahmed One Ummah. That's his, that's the difference. If I'm gonna highlight throughout the whole stories, inshallah. His one is called Ahmed One Ummah, and he looks at, the status updates of people. He looks at who's online. One of the messages he just gets is that one of the brothers from the street down where he lives has just been shot by the police because of the protest that's happening. And he checks his other message. He's got a message from his friend called Islamic Unity. Now, Islamic Unity has asked him to come down to the Shisha place in Tahrir Square to motivate the people to go down to the march. So he's thinking to himself, how is he going to address the people? So he gets up, puts his clothes on, he prays his salah, and he goes down to the kitchen. And he's looking around for some vinegar. Because in the marches, brothers, the police, what they do is they throw tear gas at people. So he's putting vinegar on his scarf so that he can cover his face and still breathe. So he goes out, he gets into his car, and he's thinking on his way, I'm going to look at it from this angle, I'm going to look at it from that angle. And just before he goes out, he suddenly remembers his hadith that his ustad taught him. He taught him, Afdal al-jihad kalimatu haqqin 'inda sultanin jair. That the best of jihad is a word of truth against a tyrant ruler. Reminding himself of this, he motivated himself and went into the Shisha place, and he motivated the people, and they went out to Tahrir Square to account the tyrant ruler. Now, this is, the end of the two stories. I want you guys seriously to think about these two stories, the contrast between them. And inshallah, I'm gonna come back to these later on. Brothers, we live in a time where our social lives have dramatically changed. They've become, completely revolved around internet activities and going around shisha places and just hanging around, chilling out in the street corners. But, we always have to have this urge, a constant urge that we have, that whatever we do, we always got to update ourselves, the social update that you can have on Facebook. Whenever you go to a restaurant, you go to a shisha place, you go down a place called Hoops, you go down, the restaurant in Zaza's and all of these places, you say, I went in Zaza's today. And you get, and you feel, that urgency that you need to make sure you put it up, that people know about it, that you're going here, you're going there, you're going places. That's what you want the people to know. But when it comes to the Deen, brothers, why is it that we don't have no urgency to do anything and let people know about the Deen at all? When we, when we find even small things like there's deficiencies within ourselves, why is it that we don't have any urgency to address those deficiencies? That, a brother could be, trying to read the Quran and he realizes that he can't pronounce his letters properly. He's got problems in tajweed. Why does he not feel that he needs to go and address this issue and maybe go study tajweed, go and improve himself? But when it comes to Facebook, brothers, if there's a new update, believe you me, everybody's going on Facebook. How does it work? How am I going to do this? Learn how to do that. New tagging system, how does that work? Obviously, everyone's been reading the news that Facebook automatically tags people that they already know. They want to learn about this stuff. But when it comes to the Deen, there's no urgency. It's actually quite sad. But I want to look into Facebook in a little bit more detail. That studies have shown that the average Facebooker actually spends 20 to 40 hours a week sitting there on Facebook. It's not short, bro. If you think about it, the hours, especially students. This is mostly about students because, you're just sitting there chatting to people. It's a way of communication. So of course, there's going to be long hours spent on Facebook. But just sitting there looking at people's profiles, poking this person, poking that person. All the hours in a week add up to about 20 to 40 hours a week. But think about it, brothers. 20 to 40 hours a week, that's time. If that was spent doing anything Islamic, one thing Islamic, you'd become a master in it. Whatever you choose. If you try to let's say even try to memorize some Quran for 20 to 40 hours a week, you would most definitely become a hafiz in a very short period of time. And there would be, but rather what people would do is sit there, waste time on things like Facebook. But there's even more than that. There's, some people nowadays like to have 2 Facebook accounts. And we all got friends. Let's be real. No need to hide. Yeah, that we all have friends that have 2 Facebook accounts. One. And there's a reason for it. It's not done for no reason. One. I'll give an example. One. There's a brother called Ali. He's got 2 Facebook accounts. One of them is called Ali Abdullah. He's got Shahada flag on it and everything. And then he's got Ali Klitsch's Finest on his other one, with this picture like this. Yeah? He's got 2 accounts. Now, when he goes out and meets people, depending on the crowd, he will give them which account he wants to give to them. So when he's out in the canteen in John Cass or in Poplar College, he's at the atrium, yeah? He's chilling with the boys. He's going to meet up these girls. When they go down to Canary Wharf to the waterfall, with the water fountain, they walk around and they ask him, "Yo, bruv, what's your Facebook ad, man, so we can add you?" He says, "Yeah, man, my name's Ali. What's it again? Ali Klitsch's Finest. That's my ad, bro. That's my ad." But then he comes home, yeah, and his mom goes, "Hey, no matter that." So he goes to the masjid. He goes to pray salah. And then he sees some Islamic brothers. And they ask him, "Yo, bro, man, you live around this area, man. Give us your Facebook ad so we can get you to events and stuff." He goes, "Yeah, bro, you're right, man. Ali Abdullah, man, that's my Facebook ad, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it down with you, brothers, But you can see everyone's laughing here. You can see there's a big problem here because this guy's a bit confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's living a bit skits, as they say. He's living a fake life. He's confused, What advice would you guys give him, man? What? Delete your Facebook. But there's even more of a fundamental thing. You just tell that brother, you know what? You just be honest with yourself and stop being too Facebook, brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, have a fresh start with Twitter. Maybe maybe be honest to yourself. But even within Facebook, there's a few interesting things that happen. You have, these, the poking function that you got on Facebook. You end up having these poking wars. And everyone's done it, you keep on, this person pokes you, so you poke them back. And they poke you back. And it goes on, and on, and on, and on. But, you know what? It's actually quite sad that, it's a laugh at first, you're doing this poking war and things. But it's sad that people get so engrossed within it, in this virtual reality, they forget in real life that there are real wars that are happening. There are wars that are happening here, and there are wars that are happening in the Middle East. Wars that are happening in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya. And we can't forget this. We need to wake up from this virtual reality we sometimes live in and wake ourselves up and come to reality and try and think about how is it that we can solve these issues. What is it that we can do? Because brothers, at the end of the day, we are still part of this ummah. And this Rasul ﷺ says that this ummah is like one man. If his eye is hurting, then the whole of him hurts. If his head hurts, then the whole of him hurts. We need to have that feeling, brothers, and not get too stuck up into this virtual reality of poking wars and come into the real life scenario where people are going through wars and think about how is it that we as Muslims can solve these issues. But even with poking, there's another thing as well. The guys know about this, obviously, that they like to go around poking random people. They like to like to poke around random girls in hope, in the intention that, yes, you can poke them in real life. But I'll tell you one thing, brothers, you should keep into consideration that if you go about doing that and you end up committing that sin, consider what will you be poked with in Jahannam. And that's something that you should really think about, brothers. Because it's unfortunate that a lot of people actually go about doing this, poking around random people. And then they got, and another thing that they love doing is, they love boasting about how many friends that they've got. Yeah, I got 100 friends. I got 200 friends. I got 1,000 friends, bruv. But you know what? These friends ain't real, it's not a real friendship. That friendship is weak, like your internet connection, bruv. Because if you ever got into a fight, and you wrote on your Facebook status, I'm in a fight, I need help. You'll probably, people will probably like, LOL, bye-bye. They're not going to bother helping you. Yeah, some people might even press those like buttons. They got a like function as well, innit? Yeah, like, I'm in trouble. Yeah, get in trouble, you idiot. That's what they're... and people, people love, putting things up on Facebook, a little picture, of the little crew of Clitchy Massive, you can say. They love getting those like buttons. And if you get 100 of them, you get 200 of them, you think, yeah, I did it, bruv. I'm bad, you know what I'm saying? But if we flip that around, and if you think about that from an Islamic perspective, I'd say, bruv, wouldn't it be something more something to be happy and proud about, that if you did something Islamic, that the angels are clicking that like button to you, bruv. That each time you step towards the masjid, each step you take, you get reward. The angels say to him, yeah, I like what you're doing right there, bruv. I like that act you're doing right there. I like the fact that you're counting that tyrant ruler. These are the and compared to the hundreds and thousands, maybe because of your friends, you got likes on Facebook, you'll be getting millions, brothers. Millions of likes from the angels because of you doing something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'd like to address, obviously, the second part of our topic, the topic of Shisha, and how this, favorite pastime of the youth today, spending hours on end in Shisha places, how it affects us. And we have to think about the environment that these places are. The youth, they go there, you have loud banging music, you have all of this free mixing going on. It's not exactly the best place for Muslims to be, especially Muslim youth who can easily get into the wrong path, who from the aspect of smoking shisha might think, you know what, let's take it to the next level up, because all youth think like that. How is it that we can get the next level up? So they'll start smoking. They start smoking other stuff, other substances, because shisha doesn't give them enough of a little hit. So they might smoke a zoot. But you know what, brothers? We should think that you smoke a zoot in this dunya, Jahannam is going to smoke you like a zoot in akhirah. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's dope, innit? But even with these places that is you know, people sit there for so long, hours. You know, from my own experience, some of my friends can sit there between 4 to 5 hours in a shisha place, just talking on shisha and sitting there talking about a lot of nonsense. And that is actually quite sad, because you're sitting there, you're wasting so many hours talking about nonsense where you're actually taking away from your purpose in life, you know, the reason why you were created. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that, you know, we have created you for no other reason but to worship me. We talk about man and jinn. And if you think about it, brothers, sitting there not doing anything about your purpose in life is taking away from that. That's why Isa alayhi salam said that the day and night are like storehouses. Be wary of what you put in them. You should be wary of how you utilize your time. You know. And another thing, even with this, this whole concept of going to shisha places, when you ask a brother nowadays, oh man, you want to come down to an Islamic talk? We're going to be talking about Tokin and Pokin. Yeah. He say, nah, bruv. I'm saying, I got to go pick up my nanny from Heathrow Airport, bruv. I need to go pick her up. She's come from Pakistan. He forgets the fact that he's Bengali, by the way. Yeah, his nanny's coming from Pakistan. But 5 minutes later, one of his boys says, yeah, man, we're going down shisha place down in Plasto. You want to come? He says, yeah, I'm on it. But it's actually quite sad that they would rather spend time in a shisha place than coming to something that may actually, be benefit them for their purpose in life. That, as youth especially, if the youth come down to something which is Islamic, it's something that's so important for the youth to do that even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Yawmul Qiyamah, the day there will be no shade. That one of the categories of people that will be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's throne is the youth who worked for the Deen. And that, obviously I'm talking about the youth goes up to 40, yeah, but I'm talking just on the college level, that the younger students, that you could you do something now, you'll greatly benefit, greatly profit on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Because brothers, it's not, like everyone, when we discuss, Jahannam and stuff and Yawm al-Qiyamah, people always seem to try and kind of think of it as a fairy tale. But believe you me, brothers, the sun's going to be right just 1 mile high up. People are going to be sweating. Some will be drowning up to their waist, some will be drowning up to their ankles, and some are going to be drowning in their own sweat completely. And on that day, there won't be no trees, no buildings, no nothing. And the only shade is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can have the opportunity to be from amongst those people that maybe at a young age that you worked for Islam, and because of that you were granted that blessing of being under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'd like to just kind of conclude my talk, and I just want to give you a hadith of Rasulullah alayhi salam that I want you guys to contemplate and to think about. Rasulullah alayhi salam says that two blessings the people will be deceived in, which is time and good health. So this is something very, very important for us to think about, inshallah. And I want you if you just take this hadith away with you today and you actually contemplate upon that, that is more than what I could have given you. وقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله والحمد لله. جزاك الله bro.
If there's any questions or comments, take some now. Come over.
There's also some people they say that Shisha is haram. This is really true because you remember that the story that I mentioned at the beginning about the two brothers, Abdullah and brother Ahmed. Their situations are, they're doing the same things. They're utilizing the same tools, but they're doing it in two very different ways. So from there we can see that depending how you utilize something, it may be halal or it may be haram. Just your comments on that.
Well, with regards to things like, for example, Shisha, there are various opinions on it, and it's actually important for us as Muslims to go and find out the hukums related to things, of our everyday life. It's actually, Rasul alayhi salam says, طَلَبُ الْعِلْمِ فَرِيدَةً عَلَى كُلِّ Muslim, that the seeking of knowledge is fard upon every Muslim. So it's actually very important for us to find out for things like Shisha that people do. It is a reality to go and find out whether it's halal or whether it's haram, and then the opinion that you will follow, you should stick by it, and not like impose it on other people, but you should stick by our own opinion. And with regards to like things like Facebook can be used in a halal way, it can be used as a haram way. Like even the other example of brother Ali from Clichy, he could be using it as Ali Clichy's finest, or he could be using it as Ali Abdullah to be invited to an Islamic event. So there is that in itself. Facebook in itself isn't something that's halal or haram.